We got to the Mishnah, right? Yeah, Mishnah Kuf Yud Gimel Amud Aleph.
I was saying, Yaakov, what time are we doing tomorrow? I know it's late.
Oh, 5:40.
And Motzei Shabbos?
Motzei Shabbos, 5 to 10. I don't think we can make it earlier than that. It's the 42. Yeah, call it for 10 to. Call it for 10 to, please.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it's late. These are late weeks.
And next week, what are we doing every night?
I don't know. Let's. Who's on now? Akiva prefers earlier. Peretz, what are you?
What about me?
Do you prefer 7 o'clock or?
Makes no difference to me.
Jesse, earlier. I think you like. You're an earlier guy. No,
always prefer earlier. Yeah.
Rachamim. Earlier or later? You can't find his.
Yeah, I had to find it. I had to find the mouse. You know. Earlier is better. Earlier.
Okay, Yitzi Sunday.
I'm good with whatever. I'm good with either one.
Okay, I think we have enough. Let's try next week. 7:05, 7:05, 7:10. 7:10 should be fine. Okay, thank you. Okay, so Zok the Mishnah, Kuf Yud Gimel Amud Aleph, yeah?
Rabbi Aaron left already? No,
he's on. We just came out from the Chasana together. I dropped.
He's going Monday.
oh. So he don't get a vote.
I didn't want to tell Aaron. Why'd you tell Aaron when I'm leaving?
I
know,
thought you would leave without saying goodbye.
Sorry, I apologize.
No, we know he's a pro early. We don't need to ask him. We know he's pro. He would rather the daf early.
I just wanted to say I'm taking away his vote. Why can't you let me have that? He's Mr. Voter.
Yeah.
Byron, I thought you get a kick out of that one.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so let's go. It's late. So Zok the Mishnah. Hamal v'schaveru. So now we get into mashkin for the next couple of lot. So mashkin is that you take a collab. I don't know if it's collab. Well, we're gonna see in I think tomorrow's stuff. They don't touch it as collateral. They touch it more as a security. Meaning collateral is when you take it by the initial loan. You take something that's to protect yourself. This is when the guy doesn't pay you back. You're taking something from him, right? So it's called a mashkin though. So meaning basically when somebody doesn't pay you back, so instead of let's say the loan is a 30-day loan, at 30 days when he doesn't pay you back, so you have to go to Bez, and we're going to see now in the sugi exactly how to go about doing it. But you go to Bezdin or whatever, you take an item from him and you hold on to it until he pays you back. But we're going to see that there's a lot of rules and regulations with doing this. Right, so Mavis Chaver, how do you pronounce it? Yimashkenu or Yimashkenenu, Ela Bezdin. Right? You cannot go take a mashkin. I mean, you can't just walk into let's say you lent your neighbor $100 and he doesn't pay you back. You can't just walk into his house and take his bottle of schnapps as a mashkin. He's certainly not allowed to drink it, but you can't just go in there. You got to go to Bezdin, and Bezdin will decide what you could take from him. And then you're not allowed to go into his house either. That's the next thing. So first thing is you have to do it through Bezdin. And you can't go into his house either. You got to stand outside and he has to bring it to you. So basically, it seems like the Gemara is on the side, well, the Torah is really on the side of the borrower, right? Which we'll see because the borrower is the one that needs the chesed. Right? The lender is the one doing a chesed for the borrower. So it says, so let's say he had 2 kelim, which and the chiyuv, meaning the amount he owes, is connected to 2 kelim. So let's say it was right. I mean, one is a day, a kli that's used during the day, and one's a kli that's used at night. So let's say a pillow, right? That's the mashal he uses, a pillow and a plow. That's what the Gemara is going to use. So at night, you come take his plow, and you got to bring it back to him in the morning, and during the day, you take away his pillow. Right? So what you do is you take one and you leave one. You return the pillow at night, and then you put the plow during the day, right? Like we just said, but if he dies, meaning let's say the lender died when the borrower, but let's say, I'm sorry, when the lender died, then it doesn't, there's no mashkin, right? Meaning, I'm sorry, not the lender died, the borrower died. If the borrower died, so then he gets to keep the mashkin. There's no Yerusha. There's no Yerusha for that. Normally, when somebody dies with debt, so the kids have to pay off the debt from the Yerusha. The kids don't have to take their own money and pay the father's debt. That they don't have to do. But they do have to take their Yerusha money and pay it back. This, if he takes a mashkin, does not come out of the Yerusha. Even himself, he doesn't, meaning even the guy who's the lender himself, he only has to give it back for 30 days. After 30 days, meaning he has to do this shtick of going to the house, waiting for the lender to bring him out, the borrower to bring out the thing, and then he takes it, and then every day he brings his pillow back. It's a real pain. It's a real pain to do this. But after 30 days, then Bezin would just sell out the stuff. That's according to Rav Shimon Gamliel. We're going to see in Amud Beis there's a machlokes about this. Okay, so those are the basic dinim of how to take a mashkin. So Shmuel shliach bezdin menateach netuchi in av mashkuna loy. The shliach bezdin, because we said that you have to take this through bezdin. So the shliach bezdin can take it through in the street, mashkuna loy, but he cannot go into the house. He's not allowed to go into the house. I mean, the same way the lender is not allowed to go into the house. So too the shliach bezdin is not allowed to go into the house either. If he meets the guy in the street, he could take it from him. Meaning, if he meets the borrower in the street, he could take it. So what I asks now, the Gemara asks a bunch of kashas on this. It says you can not only give a mashkin and bezdin, bechlal to a bezdin, mashkin. It's mashma that you can in bezdin. If you go through bezdin, you could be mashkin by telling him go to the house, right? Like again, if he's saying that bezdin you could do mashkin, and how do you do mashkin? By going to the guy's house. So why can't the shliach bezdin go? Amalei Shmuel ema lo yinaschenu ela bebezdin. What it means is that he can only go take it from him in the street through bezdin. Not that he totally represents the owner. He could only get it in the street. He can't go to his house.
What does that mean that he could only seize it in the street? That means the guy has to happen to be walking with whatever security he wants, or could Bezdin request him, or can Bezdin request that the person bring out what they need?
I guess Bezdin can make him bring it out, but he can't go to their house. That's Shmuel's chiddush, right? That's exactly what he's saying. Meaning, he's saying that, and we're going to see really on Amud Beis, he's saying that the shliach bezdin cannot go into the house.
So you have to get lucky that the guy's going to bring it out, or can you force the guy to bring it out?
I guess, I don't know. But Mastama, they can force him. Bezdin can force him to do anything. Right? Okay, so let's see. You're not allowed to go into the house in order to take the mashkin money. Who's that talking about? You can't go to the house. If the Baal Chayiv, meaning the Baal Chayiv is the lender, it's very interesting because the Baal Chayiv, normally we said many times in our jargon, we usually mean a Baal Chayiv is somebody who's in debt. In the Gemara, it always means the Baal Chayiv, the owner of the Chayiv, meaning the lender. So on Amud Aleph, Baal Chayiv Taka means the lender. On Amud Beis, or tomorrow's daf, one of the two or both, all of a sudden the Gemara changes and starts using the word Baal Chayiv as the borrower. Right? So anyway, so the Gemara says, we already heard that from the Reisha that you're not allowed to. Right? Again, the Sefer says, don't go into his house to take the mashkin. Who's that talking about? If it's talking about the Baal Chayiv, meaning the lender, we already know that from the Reisha. Elalav shliach bezdin. It must be the shliach bezdin. So Gemara says, "Imishum lo iriya." If that's your raya, that's not a raya. Hachi kamar, because this is what the Mishnah is saying, Hamalvis Chaveira, somebody who lends something to his friend, don't take a mashkin only in Bezdin, Mechlal, to be Bezdin, Mashkinin. You see from this that in Bezdin you are allowed to do a mashkin. Or Bal Chayiv, Afilu Netuche Nami Loy, and a Bal Chayiv, he's not even allowed to go take it from the guy in the street. Right? Shalom Yukanis the base Lito Mashkaina. He cannot go into his house to take well, the Bach is very helpful here. Again, Baal Chayiv Afilu Netuche Nami Loy, the Baal Chayiv, even to grab the money doesn't work. Gezeira Shema Yukanis Lebeisai Litol Mashkana, because it's a gezeira that he might go into his house.
What was the problem with going in the house? Now, I mean, I'm pretty liberal. I don't like people coming in my house. But what is the problem with just we got
animals? You have no problem with animals coming to the house. You just don't like people coming into your house.
Yes, I got my foot in my mouth. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's one of the one of the Bill of Rights is you can't just enter into somebody else's house.
Yeah,
without a warrant.
Yeah, I said besides my liberal tendencies, but
The
not
bill,
Not liberal. It's
only
one
the
of your
government,
freedoms.
and it's not against people.
It's a takonas chachamim.
More than Tekos Konos Yaakov. It's
I
it's
mean,
the
it's
Torah
a
says
Xeris
it.
HaKosuv. I'm sorry, I didn't mean Takonas. I mean, it's a Xeris HaKosuv that says it.
Yeah.
We're going to get into either, I think Shabbos is daf that's going to talk about it. That's going to talk about what the pshat is. But the reason is to not stress out the ani, the borrower. That seems to be the reason. But really, ultimately, it's Xeris HaKosuv.
What's the what is Xeris? What is it? What does it say?
That you're not allowed to go into his how we die. Well, we'll see on Amma base. We'll see on Amma base.
You're not allowed to go into what? Someone else's house?
You said it's on the base. Give him a
You're
chance.
not allowed to go into
So why
somebody's
does
house.
Naftali go into your house every night?
Can you let him finish a sentence?
Oh, sorry. I know what the answer is.
Kegel.
Because he's not coming to collect a loan, or Hashem. Right? If he'd come to collect the loan, then he would not be able to come in. It's only because you're not allowed to collect the loan. I don't think it's a problem. Right? Meaning, let's say the guy decides, oh yeah, come into the house and come take whatever you want. So then
You collect the loan, you collect the mashkin.
the mashkin, well, he's coming for the loan. He'd like to come out of there with the loan, but even the mashkin, he can't come in. Let's see, we'll see on Amma base. And then they want to ask another two kashas on Shmuel. So Maser Rav Yosef, lo yechabel rechayim berechev. So the pasuk says that you're not allowed to take a rechayim, which is a mill, a grinder, berechev, and a rechev is the top part, the part that rides on top of it. You're not allowed to take that. So hadvarim acherim chavel, but it's mashma. So you're only not allowed to take the grinders, but the other things you are allowed to take. Meaning from where? From the house. Lo yisachol beged almana. It says you're not allowed to take the beged of an almana. Meaning if an almana is the borrower, you're not allowed to take it. Hashal acherim techavel. Mashma that other people, you can take their clothing, meaning even from the house. So man, who we talking about that could take it? If you're saying Bal Chayiv, there's the pasuk right there, right? You can't go into his house to take the stuff that represents the loan. Elolav shliach bezdin. So it must be talking about the shliach bezdin because that it doesn't say beferish in the pasuk, and then you see that the Mishnah does not allow the shliach bezdin to go in. So my answer is to Rav Papa, Breder Rav Nachman, Kamei Rav Yosef, Amri Rav Papa, Breder Rav Yosef, Kamei Rav Yosef. La'ilam B'Bal Chayiv. It's talking about the lender, the laver Allah b'shnei laver. And yes, we're telling you that you're over on two laver for this. Fine. So Toshma another kasha. Mimashma shenemar b'chutz tamoid. It says in the pasuk, you have to also stand outside. Meaning the way the pasuk says. It says, "Bachutz tamay ve'isher atanoisha be'yotzi elachas avoy tachutza." That's the pasuk. Meaning, the lender has to stand outside, and the person is going to bring him the security. That's what they call it, right? So it says, "Bachutz tamay." Any yadei she'isher atanoisha be'yotzi Don't I understand if the first part of pasuk says stand outside, don't come in? Don't I know that he's gonna have to bring it out to me? Right? So then why is it saying ish? The rabbi is shliach bezdin. It's coming to include shliach bezdin. My lav shliach bezdin kiloive, and isn't the shliach bezdin like a loive? Which is that just like the loive obviously can be in his house, which is his house. So the shliach bezdin could also go into the house and bring it out to the lender. So you see that the shliach bezdin can go into the person's house. Anton bebeis. The Gemara says loi shliach bezdin kimalve. The shliach bezdin is like the malve, and he also can't go into the house.
Is he knocking on the door nicely and letting him in, or he forcing their way in?
Probably both. Probably both. That's what I would think. Right? Yeah. So now let's see another kasha on Shmuel. So Toshima im chabal tachmal samas reyecha. There's another pasuk, right? If you're going to take tachbal, means if you're going to take it as security. That's the way the art school teaches it. Chabal tachbal salmas reyecha. You're taking the salmas means the clothing of your friend. B'shliach bezdin akosam adaber. That's talking about the shliach bezdin who's coming to take it. Atoim b'shliach bezdin akosam adaber. Do you say it's talking about the shliach bezdin? Or is it talking about the Baal Chayiv, right? The lender. So
What?
Yeah.
Is there a reason that seems to be that the thing that you take during the day is something he makes parnasa with, be it the grinding thing or the plow. That's something somebody makes parnasa with. And at night he's taking it in a pair of pajamas or pillows. The guy has 2 pillows, so I'll give you a pillow. Great. Take my pillow. What do I get? Took my pillow.
You're saying it should be.
I mean, maybe that's because that's the Metzia. People during the day have things that are more valuable to them.
No, you're saying a good thing, which is going to be really in tomorrow's daf, the next day's daf, but it comes down. It's really Tully. Bezdin has to play a role of what's important to the lender, to the borrower, and whatever's important to the borrower, then the taka you gotta be nice about it, right? Yeah. So let's see. So it says don't come into his house to take the avo. That's talking about the Baal Chayiv, right? Like we said, the lender cannot go into his house. So then what is the pasuk that you're going to take a security from your friend's clothing? Must be b'shiach bezdin akosim adaber. It's talking about b'shiach bezdin. So again, another kasha on Shmuel. Well, answers Tanoi, it's a machlokes Tanoi. If the Tanya shliach bezdin shabala mashkanoi, if a shliach bezdin comes to take a mashkan, lo yikanis lebeisoi lemashkanoi, he cannot go into the house in order to take a mashkan. Elo ayman bi b'chutz, he stands outside. V'alom baitzilem mashkan, and him, the borrower comes and brings out the mashkan. Shenemer b'chutz tamoid be'ish. It says you stand outside with the man, right? Meaning the man, either the shliach bezdin or the galayva has to bring it out to you. Well, the shliach bezdin can't go in there either. Well, no, I'm sorry. This sheet holds that the shliach bezdin is right. The taniyida bal chayiv shabala mashkin. Right, bal chayiv comes to give a mashkin to get a mashkin. Lo yikanas the base of the mashkin. Elo aymet b'chutz v'alo nichnas u'maytzilay mashkinay. And he goes in, meaning the borrower goes inside the house to bring his mashkin. Shenemer b'chutz tamoy shliach bezdin shabala mashkinay. And the shliach bezdin that comes to give the mashkin, he can go into the house and take the mashkin. But and then the Bryce just adds this: he's not allowed to take as a mashkin anything that's used to prepare food. See, Rabban, that's I think what it's saying. Meaning, some things are off; they're off limits. If it's food preparation, you can't do it. The guy needs his challah. He can't survive without his challah. Right? So, see again. It's very interesting. So the Gemara asks 4 or 5 different
Maybe he should pay back his loan. Maybe he should pay it back, and then he could have children.
Maybe. But I say Yeah, but meaning it's very interesting the sugya because first Shmuel says it didn't. The Shia Bezin can't go in the house. We ask 4 or 5 kashas from the Mishnah and the Brisa, and then finally we say, yeah, you know what? It's a machlokes tanoim, and Shmuel's going. You can't ask any kashas anymore, right? So fine. So that's it. Yeah, so fine. So then the Gemara says, so now we have it's a machlokes tanoim. So it says v'noisen meat. What do you take, right? So v'noisen mita, you give a mita. That is, you see there's a lot of gros here. So long gra on Amar Aleph, then there's a gra here it's only these specifically, nothing else. The question is the Gemara here saying specifically you do this or not? So basically we're saying v'noisen mita umita umetza. What he does is he gives, meaning the lender gives, he can go take whatever he wants from the house, but we have to figure out what the borrower really needs. So v'noisen mita, he gives him back a mita, a bed, umita umatza, and a bed and a mattress. La'ashir, that's for a wealthy guy. He has to give him back a bed and a mattress. Wealthy people have bigger needs than poor people. Then mita umita umapatz la'ani. So a bed and a mafet. So a bed with a mat goes to an ani. Yeah, loi. So that's the first thing. So those are the basic needs have to be given to them. The rich guy has bigger needs than the poor guy. Loi, only the needs for the actual head of the household, not for his wife and not for his kids, not for his boys and not for his girls. Meaning, it's only his needs, not their needs. And then we say, so the same way. Now here the Gemara changed. Here now Baal Chayv the Baal Chayv now changed from lender to borrower. The same way that we're Masada for a Baal Chayv, for a borrower, Kach Masadin be'erchin, we're also Masadin erchin. Now, erchin is what you do is when somebody says, I'm going to give a donation of myself to hektish. Meaning so then myself is basically, depending on your age, is a set fee. It's a flat fee. I forget the exact numbers what they are. 20 shekel for this, 20 shekel for that, meaning how old you are, and that's it. It's a flat fee. So if somebody does this and then he can't afford to pay it, so what Beis Din does is they go and they figure out exactly an amount for him to pay. That's called misadrin by erchin. When somebody donates, erech means a worth, his worth. So we learn out from the psukim by erchin that the same way Beis Din goes and evaluates what the guy could afford and what he can't afford, they also go for the Baal Chayv, for the borrower, when he can't afford to pay back. So the Beis Din figures out what he can pay and what he can give as his, security. So really, we're learning it out from Erchin, which Gemara asks right away. Klape Laya, it's the opposite, right? Iker Siddur be'erchin. The Iker Siddur, we're learning out Baal Chayv, that Beis Din has to go in and evaluate what's going on. We learned that from Erchin. So what are you saying that Erchin is like Baal Chayv? That's talking what the Gemara meant. The same way you say it by Erchin, you do it Baal Chayv. Fine. So Omar Mar. Nice and mito mat. So you give a bed and a mattress. La'asher to a wealthy person. Mita umitu mafetz lani. You give a bed and a mat to an ani. So laman. So who are you doing? Rashi explains, what is this second bed for? Why does a person need 2 beds? So if you say because he needs a bed for his wife or his kids, we say we only care about his needs, not his wife and his kids. Both beds are his. Okay, so then Tarti Lamali, why do you need 2 beds? So it says one is to eat, one bed he eats, and one bed he lays down. The Shmuel, like Shmuel, Damar Shmuel, call me Yadina Susayo. Everything. I know all refuahs. For everything, Levar Mehani Tlas, except for these 3 things, I don't know what the refuah is. Manda Ochel, Ahina Marira, Aliba Rekana. Somebody eats a bitter date on an empty stomach. Umanda asar misna tekisna retiva achartze, and somebody who ties a wet belt made out of flax around his waist. So I guess that's also not healthy. Somebody who eats bread and doesn't walk 4 amas before he goes to sleep. Right? So meaning you have to get up and walk. I think this is brought in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. I didn't have a chance to check this last din. There's a Meister Reb Chaim Kanievsky when he was really not well. So he was laying in his bed and he ate. I think it wasn't even hamaitzi. I think it was just cake. He ate cake, and then he tells everybody, "I gotta get up and walk." And they say, "What are you doing? You're in bed because you're not well. Why are you getting up to walk?" He said he insisted. He got out of bed. He walked Daled Amos. He went back to the bed. They asked him, "Why'd you do that?" He says, "Because the Gemara says that it's unhealthy to walk Daled Amos, to eat without walking Daled Amos, and go straight to sleep. You can't. It's not healthy." That's so. Yeah. So it's an interesting Maisa with Reb Chaim.
You say the whole house is like Daled Amos, you gave from the titch to the bed. Titch to the couch.
No, I wonder, Taka, because unfortunately, if you fall asleep by the Suda, right? You ate and you fall asleep in your chair. I don't know about you. I certainly do. Right? So that's l'chayra, not healthy. Right?
You gotta go take your goat for a walk, and on the street.
Make sure Zev didn't eat anything just now.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyways, yeah. It's an interesting thing. I have to check if the Kitzur brings it. Maybe the Mishnah Berurah brings it. I don't remember. Okay. Tani Tana Kamei Rav Nachman. So the Tana said in front of Rav Nachman, the same way with Mesada Be'erchin, like we said before. If somebody says he's giving his worth to Hektish, so we figure, and he can't afford it, so we figure out how much he should pay. Or how much we should take from him. So Kach Mesada and Baal Choy, we do the same thing Baal Choy. So Amalei said back to him, Hashta Zvunim Mazvinina Le, Sedurim Mazvinina Le. If we sell, meaning if we go and we said we're going to sell, the Mishnah says, but it's Reb Shimon Gamliel, which we'll see in a minute. The Mishnah says after 30 days, if the guy doesn't pay up his loan, you could take his pillow and take his plow and sell it. So Hashta Zvunim Mazvinina Le, Sedurim Mazvinina Le. Are we going to start being Masader him? We just said that you have to sell things. So what, we're going to start arranging things? Bam. So Gemara asks, who says you sell it? Who says you sell? You give back the pillow at night and you give back the plow during the day. So the Gemara, which is true, and that's what the Tana Kama says. But the Reb Shimon Gamliel in the Mishnah says no. Tana. So which was the Gemara answers? No, there is a Tana that says sell it. Tana Reb Shimon Gamliel, Tana Kamei. He was teaching what. He was going according to Shimon Gamliel. And this is what he meant to tell him. According to Shimon Gamliel, after 30 days, you sell the item. So then you're going to start figuring out what he's allowed to sell. Meaning, when you're taking his pillow, he needs it. When you're taking his plow, he needs it. Yet you're still selling it. So what are you talking about that you misader it? Even to the ani himself. The ani, what I keep saying ani, meaning the borrower, which I guess is an ani, you don't give it back to him only until 30 days. After that, you sell it in Bezdin. So that was the kasha that he was asking from the Tana that said in front of Rav Nachman that you masader it by erchen. How could the same way you masader by erchen, you masader by chay? How could it be? You're selling off his things after 30 days. Then the Gemara says an interesting question and answer here. And how do you know that when Shimon Gamliel said that after 30 days you sell things, right? Meaning you sell out everything. If need be, you sell everything out from the Baal Chayv, the Gamri Kamer. Who says that you sell everything? Dilma Hachi Kamer. Maybe this is what Shimon Gamliel held. Up until 30 days, you have to give him back his pillow, give him back his plow, whatever it is that you're taking. You have to give him back what he needs. What's fitting for him. Meaning each ani needs his things that you can't sell. And what he really doesn't need, then you sell. Meaning things that are luxuries. I'm sorry, things that are luxuries you sell. Things that are necessities you don't sell. Right? So that if you go with that, then it makes sense that you do have to evaluate what does this guy need, what does this guy not need. Right? So maybe that's what, again, the Gemara is asking, who says Rav Shimon Gamliel said you can make wholesale? You could just go, what's it called when the store goes out of business? You do
out of business sale, fire sale.
Close whatever.
Liquidation.
Liquidation, very good. Yeah, liquidation, right? Who says you liquidate everything? Maybe Rav Shimon Gamliel is only saying liquidate his luxuries. But you don't, meaning he sleeps with 2 pillows a night. Okay, so sell 1, right? The luxuries sell, but not the necessities. Maybe that's what he means. In which case, Bezdin, the same way by Erchin, you have to evaluate how much the guy is worth. So by Baal Chayv, you also do. So Gemara answers, if you're going to think that, if you really think that Rav Shimon Gamliel holds that meaning that anybody can have luxuries, leka midi d'loy chazile. There's no such thing as luxuries. That's basically what that Gemara means. There's nothing that's not roy for a person. Right? Why? Damar Abaye, Rav Shimon Gamliel, Rav Shimon, Rav Yishmael, Rav Akiva, Kulu, Svirulu, Kol Yisrael, B'nei Malachim Hein. Everybody in Klal Yisrael are B'nei Malachim, meaning since they're sons of kings, right? Memela, they're roy to every luxury. Rabban, that's what we're talking about as we just left from the right. Everybody in Yiddishkeit is right to have luxuries to the wazoo. So therefore, you cannot go into some borrower's house and evaluate and say, "Oh, this is a luxury. That's a luxury." No. Everybody in Klal Yisrael is roy to all sorts of luxuries, and that's what Rav Shimon Gamliel holds. So Mamela can't possibly be that Rav Shimon Gamliel holds that you go into somebody's house and start picking and choosing. So now the Gemara goes with the 3 cases. We got a little chazari from Meir. Rav Shimon Gamliel to Tanya, lo yas haluf lo yas hachardo. You're not allowed to. This is talking about for muksa. So when you have animal food, so if it's muksa, so you're not allowed to move it. So the Mishnah says you're not allowed to move luf, which is some sort of bean, and you're not allowed to take chardo, which is mustard, which has to be raw, meaning they're not edible. Rav Shimon Gamliel matter beluf, but Rav Shimon Gamliel says luf is not muksa, these beans. Why? Because it's food for ravens. So what? Ravens was a pet for rich people. And they used to use that as their pets for noyan schoik, Rashi says. So Memela, since the rich people will feed this luf to Arvin, Memela, even the poor people it's not even muksa for the poor people because everybody's right to live on a standard higher than them. Right? Rav Shimon, Titanan, similar. B'nei Melachim Sachin Shemin Vered Al Gabi Makasem B'Shabbos. King's kids are allowed to smear themselves with oil and rose oil on their makas on Shabbos, because even it's not refuah. Shekein Darchon Lasa V'Chol. That's what they do during the week. So maybe they do it on Shabbos. It looks like the regular thing that they do. Shimon Aimer Kol Yisrael B'nei Melachim. Everybody in Klal Yisrael is B'nei Melachim, even though most people don't have that luxury to smear oil on themselves, but they're B'nei Melachim. Everybody in Klal Yisrael is right to be B'nei Melachim, therefore everybody in Klal Yisrael can do it. They piggyback basically on the backs of the kings. Mishmal Rabbi Kiva, the Tanya Resha, you notion by Elav Zuz, if somebody had a loan of 1,000 zuz for lavish, it's the labas meya mana, and he was wearing clothing worth 100 mana. All right, so again, it's 1,000 zuz, and he was wearing a clothing which is worth 10,000 zuz. A mana is 100 zuz. So basically, this guy's walking around with this expensive jacket, and he owes 1/10 of it as a loan. So we take it off the jacket, and we give him a cheap jacket so that he can take his expensive jacket and sell it and pay back his loan. Everybody in Klal Yisrael is right for that itzla, and therefore you're not allowed to take the jacket from him. Right? So you see 3 examples where we hold that even poor people can claim, like, you know what, I'm b'nei malach. So I'm going to ask, so what was our havamina though? The yavle, my dechazile, that we're going to give the borrower what's right to him, and we're going to sell what's not. Mazvanina Maideloi Chazile, we're gonna sell what's not right to him. So Bishlam Makarva Keses. So we can understand a pillow and a blanket or a pillow, a cover, whatever that is, Chazile, the Baini Baini. We can, it's Chazi for him. You can sell it and you can get a, you know, he has expensive pillow, you could sell it and get a medium pillow. What a plow is a plow. What's a plow for what? What are you going to do? Sell his expensive plow and get a cheap plow? A plow is a plow is a plow. So the answer is no, it's not true. Amarava baraba machrisha de kaspa. Somebody might have a silver plow. So if that's the case, in the Havamina, we would have thought that Rav Shimon Gamliel would hold that you sell somebody's silver plow and you get him, you know, I don't know what a plain plow is made out of, but whatever. That's so then that's what you let him have. So meaning meaning it's interesting because the Gemara doesn't always say according to your Havamina. We're already done with the Havamina, right? No, the Gemara's maskana is that you don't sell anything. We don't go into a Baal Choy, at least according to, well, it seems like according to everybody. You don't go into the guy's house and start figuring out what he could sell, what he can't sell. No fire sales or liquidations, right? But the Gemara is saying according to the Havamina that you do. Where do you have a plow? So the Gemara says, no, there's such a thing as a silver plow. Now, I don't know why anybody would have a silver plow, but with stuff that's going to get ruined. But if somebody would, then you'd not make him sell it. Okay, we'll stop over here. I can't believe it. I can maybe make my review. Wow. All right. I'm sorry for coming late, but at least we finished on time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's say Tillim.